Hi, Alex here. In this video, we will talk about how to properly plan the work of your sales team in order to meet the goals set by your management. The position of a team leader implies a deeper understanding of the business and autonomy, so the corporate plan is usually given to a team leader without a detailed instruction on who exactly, in which proportions, and how should fulfill it in general. The result of a competent team leader's work is a preparation of such an instruction. To begin with, we will use the principle of reverse engineering in our planning. In other words, we have the result, which is a sales plan, and we need to learn how to recreate it using the resources that we have available, the productivity of each team member, and the client base. Suppose a team leader receives a plan from their management in the form of a single metric: total sales for the entire team. Let's say $100,000. Our first step is to decompose it, which means to distribute it by time and employees. The most primitive form of planning would be to divide $100,000 by the amount of salespeople in the team, thus getting an individual sales plan for each, and then spread this individual plan over the weeks of the month. Even such superficial planning gives a team leader certain advantages. First, the ability to compare interim plans with the fact on weekly basis and see if there's a lag. And second, if there is a lag, individual plans help to determine which of the employees are underperforming. In other words, a sales team leader can keep the finger on the pulse and apply measures to compensate the lag. However, this type of planning doesn't take into account the specifics of each employee and their client base. So let's talk about a more advanced methodology. For a proper decomposition of the plan, we will need to analyze a number of supporting indicators. First of all, let's calculate the average sales result for each employee, then sum them up and compare them with the plan for the entire team. When you use statistics, I recommend that you pay close attention to the period that you take for calculating averages and conversions. First of all, it should be long enough, and second, it should exclude errors such as seasonality, illnesses, vacations, and statistical outliers. If the result of one month differs significantly from the results of other months, it is better to exclude it from the calculation of average values. So let's say we have 3 employees and their average monthly results are $30,000, $20,000, and $40,000. In other words, if each employee shows their average monthly result, then we will be $10,000 short of the $100,000 plan, which needs to be distributed among the employees in equal proportions. So the individual sales plans would be $33,000, $23,000, and $44,000. Next, we will look at individual planning using the example of the employee with the highest plan, which is $44,000. Let's call him Joe. The first thing to do is to determine his sales structure. Suppose we have calculated that statistically Joe's average deal amount is $4,000, which means that he will need to make 11 deals to fulfill his personal plan of $44,000. Next, we look at Joe's conversion rate from commercial offers made to clients to closed deals. Let's say it's 33%, which means that Joe will need to make 33 offers to his clients. This metric will become our supporting KPI, which we are going to track on a weekly basis. Since some time usually has to pass from the moment when the offer is made to the moment when the deal is closed, Joe's plan would be to have 33 offers by the end of the third week of the month. Thus, by the end of the first week, he needs to have 11 offers, and by the end of the second week, he needs to have 22. Moving on, let's say only 1 in 5 consultations with clients reaches a commercial offer, which means that Joe needs to have at least 165 consultations in a month to have the proper amount of offers made. We will be tracking this metric daily, so the planned amount of consultations should be divided by the number of working days that Joe has in a month. The standard is 22, so the result is going to be 7.5. It's 8 consultations per day. I recommend increasing this number up to, say, 10 in order for our planning to have extra margin of safety. It's important to realize that if Joe doesn't meet the standard for the amount of consultations per day, it's statistically most likely that he will not have the proper amount of offers made by the end of the month, which in its turn will not convert into the right amount of sales. In addition to offers and consultations, we could monitor other supporting indicators such as a number of leads processed, the average deal amount during the month, a number of new and repeated sales, and so on. It all depends on how deep you are willing to dive into the details and how many metrics you are ready to control on a weekly or daily basis. So, we did our reverse engineering. We broke down Joe's individual plan into its components, offers, and consultations, which we distributed on a timeline within a month. Our next task is to do the same individual planning with each team member, and then monitor the fulfillment of the daily plan for the amount of consultations and the weekly plan for the amount of offers made by each team member. We will talk about how to do it right in the next video. Thanks for watching.